Welcome back to One to Watch. Today I'm going to look at the BOLDR Venture Carbon Black version. BOLDR are a Singapore-based company that started out a few years ago with a Kickstarter campaign that raised the finance in just over 24 hours, but it had to be cancelled due to the spiralling manufacturing costs and expensive export certification due to the watch containing Bluetooth. BOLDR's determination soon led to their first watch, named the Journey, after the journey they had travelled to get to this point. Today, led by founder Leon, BOLDR has a successful global business producing super tough, stylish watches for adventurous people. These include field, diver and travel style watches. They use both steel and titanium cases, which are manufactured in China, and both Japanese and Swiss movements, which they regulate both before and after assembling for accuracy. So first of all, the specification. It's a field watch. The case and bracelet are made out of titanium. The lens is a flat sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating. The movement is an automatic Seiko NH35A. It has 200 meters of water resistance. So for the dimensions, so let's just set it back to 0. Okay, so the diameter is 38 millimeters. The lug to lug length is just under 44 millimeters. The thickness is just over 12 millimeters. And the strap size is 20 millimeters. So let's have a look at the weight and compare it to a couple of other watches. So this weighs 85 grams, and that's because it's made of titanium, which makes it much lighter. Let's compare this to the Alpinist. So the Alpinist is 82 grams, but it's not on a bracelet. So about the same weight, but the BOLDR Venture is on the bracelet. So that shows you how light that titanium is. And finally, the stainless steel Samurai on a stainless steel bracelet is 187 grams. So let's have a look at the loom. It's down as having Japanese super loom. Let's just hold the torch on that to get it charged up. Let's put the lights out and see. Okay, so really good, strong green. And I have tested this and it does last for quite a long time as well. So on this version, the carbon black, the dial is black and it's got the complete contrast of just off-white numbers around the outside, 1 through to 12. They're slightly green, and that's because of the loom, which is green, which we've already looked at. And then it goes on the inside of that, 13 through to 24. The numbers are very legible and easy to see the time, again with the ands being that light colour, and also you can read that time very quickly at 24 hours. You haven't got to do the quick calculation, which is good. The writing on the dial itself, the word BOLDR and the BOLDR logo, about the right size, in good position at 12 o'clock, and it's just got the text that's needed: Venture, automatic and 200 meters. There isn't a date window. Personally prefer a date window for this style of watch. I think it's particularly good if you are actually out and about on a trip or in the field for a few days, so you don't lose track of time. You might have meetings to go to, or have to be at certain places at certain times and dates, so it does help. But there are plenty of other versions of the Venture with date on, so that is definitely covered. The hands themselves are sort of straight stick, more stick shape, but they have got the sort of syringe pointy end parts to that, which is really good for, you can set it accurately and really tell the time a bit more accurately. The second hand has got the orange end to that, and that is partly recognizable that it is a BOLDR watch. They do that, and it just gives that nice little bit of color. You can match straps and NATOs and things too, and it's always easy to see where that second hand, so that really helps. Just going on to the case, the shape of the case is nice. It's actually, if we look from the side, it's stepped. So even though it's 12mm, which is still a reasonable size, it actually looks a bit thinner. It has got short lugs again, so it wears well, and 38mm means for a field watch it won't catch, and again it even adds to keeping that weight down, the titanium and the small size of the frame. If you are used to bigger watches, it might seem a bit small, but I think stick with it for a day, a few hours or a day or so, and it will make sense. The crown is ideal at 4 o'clock. It's not going to catch in the hand so much or catch on other things, and you can see that it does screw in to the case a little bit, which hides that even more. So on the back, it's just got a little bit of the artwork, which is quite typical of BOLDR watches, so that's always something nice to look at. And the essential information about that it's got sapphire crystal, water resistance, and all that sort of thing. The bracelet is matches perfectly. It's titanium, and the end links fit so well onto the lugs, and to get that on and off, I think the drilled lugs actually were really beneficial. As you can see, the bracelet just so bends and follows the wrist so nice, and it is screwed to take the links on and off. You can actually use screws, so it's not push. The actual catch, you can see that there's a safety catch on that, and you press that and open that up, and it's got 3 adjustments. And it probably, because I know when you're sort of out in the field and the temperatures can change and your wrist will change size, a fine adjustment could be improvement, but I've said that I've had no problem. The adjustment I've got it on is maybe slightly tight in the morning when I first get up, and then it is absolutely perfect for the rest of the day. So I personally got no problem with that one. So, and I think the other thing with mine, it's actually running a second out a day. I think that was a second fast a day. So I sort of timed it over 3 days, and by the end of that 3 days, it was about 2.5-3 seconds, which again is credit to BOLDR, because they do in these sort of watches use Japanese Seiko movements, and they do actually regulate them before and after assembly, which is something that Seiko don't do most of their watches. So you are I think the 4 BOLDR watches I own, they're all run within a couple of seconds a day, so that's really good. So my final thoughts is that the BOLDR Venture is a very good watch at a very good price. Currently £218 for the watch and £80 for the bracelet, which is just under £300, and that includes the NATO with titanium hardware. It's definitely worth getting the bracelet because it works really well with the watch. I'd also recommend, probably at the same time, buying an extra couple of straps. I find the BOLDR straps really good and priced between £22 and £29, real bargain. And I think the final thing is that the watch itself not only is a good all-round watch outdoors, 200 meters water resistance, so good in the water, good in the field, but also it's smart enough to wear, for work or going out for most things. And if you're wearing a trip, it's the only watch you need to take. So I highly recommend it.